Alright, I gotta make a video. This is wrong. Uh, there's a teacher out there, some old school teacher, being Psychotic Uncle Ruckus. Um, it's going viral. So I don't know what school it's on World Star Hip Hop. It's an old school discipline teacher. I'm not from the old school. Let me tell you something. I'm bipolar because of corporal punishment. Should I say? I'm gonna let you know. Don't you when y'all wanna provoke violence and anger on children, it will grow up to they might come bite you in the ass. And even they go to jail for it, they can also say that you physically did something to them and they was defend themselves. And actually they probably was. I understand that the student was acting bad. My question is this: why are the school allowing these kids to act bad? There are schools who do not enforce corporal punishment who do better. Excuse me, Sweden, the country Sweden in Europe, banned corporal punishment in both the home and the school. Do we hear stories about Swedish kids killing folks? Do we hear stories about they doing vandalization and do all this wild stuff that we hear in America? No. And usually those kids who do act wild come from parents who ain't shit, shall I say, who abuse them too, who not only do corporal punishment, tell them they ain't shit, they ain't gonna be nothing. So of course they go to school enforcing the same violence they had done to them by their parents or whoever that's raising them to somebody, to some child bullying them or to a teacher or whatever. Because they want the same power as the same way that the person that's taking care of them who abuses them do. So therefore, I don't show kudos to this kind of Uncle Ruckus. Um, I let you know something. But first, I raise my kids when they first come out the dog womb. What right, what's wrong. Even though they too young to know, I still raise them when they're little baby. I'll be a repetition to their head, so they know not to do certain things. I tell them the consequences. I tell them if they want to question it, fine. I tell them because people gotta learn something to all know what's going on. When they ask questions, it's part of learning. Um, Second of all, if you was to beat my doggone child, I'ma come out there and trust me, if you was one of my sons, you whooping down there, I come and whoop your ass. You know what I'm saying? Because the same situation that happened to me when I was sixth grade, and was white dude beat me up, but the black coach, brother dark skin, bald head, well had a fade at the time, always taunting me when my voice was high. He lied to my family, told me that I started the mess when I didn't, and I got paranoid and I almost want to commit suicide, and besides commit suicide, I wanted to kill his ass. So the reason I'm bringing all this stuff up, because I kept it inside and wanted any backlash, but y'all want to talk about whooping, baby, did this, and this bullshit, no, it didn't. I'm still taking medication called Tetraol, and what's the other medication? Um, Zyprexa, because I'm bipolar type 1, which is the worst case of bipolar. So all y'all sitting here talking about that whooping may get bullshit, shut the fuck up. Whooping that may make you a violent person, or the person that did the same thing to you. And you know it did, okay? You don't calm, you're not mellow, you're not all that other stuff. You want to get violent and you want to provoke violence to somebody else because you want the same power as a person who did the same situation to you. So I just have to say this. So I understand the kids are acting bad. The point is, I would like to go. One thing about me, I'm very detailed, and also I also troubleshoot on this. Where was the parents of these children? Why did school allow the kids to act this way? Because all you have to do is expel their ass. Okay, expel them. They don't want to come to school. Expel them. They want to come when they want to skip school. Put them in jail. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So then also too, what type of parents are these kids being raised? I said in my other video, and we're talking about the bikers being thugs at the in Waco, okay? And I also mentioned that some of these bikers have children, and yes, don't be shocked that some of these children are the same situation. They act the same way their parents do, okay? Just like in LA, the gang members, some of their children are in gangs because their parents were in gangs. So it's like the mob, okay? So the same way goes in these. So if you're educating students who have parents who are crackheads, gang members, prostitutes, all that other stuff, or former, all that stuff, and the curse went along with it when they say the child came in this world. And they trying to change their life. It's too late when they actually been the child exposed to that. Of course, they're gonna act wild. Just like for example, the one thing I'm not a fan of Thomas Neal, but I remember from this video that he do make a lot of points that I have to agree with. And some of these psychotic intimate mothers, okay, when they cuss their kids out, beat their child like a doggone slave, which is a lucky white man don't beat their child in their face. When their kids act violent towards other people, the same violence they learn from home, okay? And tell they calling and tell they ain't shit, they ain't gonna do. I'm using foul language to let you know what, cause I hear it in the ghetto. And trust me, that's a kind of my mother. These folks would not be my baby mother. Trust me, I would keep my pants on, and you not if you was to be my mother's children. Trust me, I would have a fight. I don't care about no female. If anybody talks about just like this man beating the crowd, I don't discriminate on no gender. Because if he was to whoop my dog on child, I wouldn't take up for my child's behavior, but I'll come and whoop your ass. The same situation you want to whoop on little kids, I'll whoop your old ass. I don't care about your fucking age. One thing I don't forget about shit, I don't discriminate. Whether you're old, young, black, white, Hispanic, Asian. This shit makes me angry. Because when I got my whoop behind whooping, I want to do the same doggone thing to what I'm talking about right now, okay? So I didn't want to do it. I mean, who wants to spirit somebody putting licks on them? Okay? So point is, that's the whole reason why, I mean, having serial killers were whooped and stuff. For example, I did a story about, what was the man that was raping and killing boys here in Houston? He was called a Candy Man. Target. Dean Coral, his father, his stepfather, will be Ramirez, was it? I forgot his name. Ramirez in California. He ended up, his father was very abusive and beat up on him, and he went to kill these white women. And he ended up becoming a devil worshiper and all other stuff. So all these doggone and half people I went to school with who were gang members, their family will beat the crap whether they were black or brown or white. Because we have, here in Texas, we have very conservative white folks here. So the point is, yeah, so y'all sitting here talking about, well, whoopings made me this type of person. Whoopings, this and that. Whooping, blah, blah, bless and that. Whooping and that did shit to you, made you a violent person like your grandparents and parents or your aunts or uncle, whatever, okay? That's why I would never want to do it to my children. And I have turned away of raising my kids. I've met people who have children who was not whooped, and they came out 10 times better. They had education and all other stuff. So therefore, the system is wrong. And no, I'm not saying God is wrong. It's like, once again, I'll bring it about that people destroy the scriptures and their own destruction, that St. Peter said in Second Peter chapter, Second Peter chapter 3:15. For 17, I'm a per word. I'm cussing here, but I'm wise to know that some of the destroy scripture. So of course, man can twist God's words to be abuse. So for example, like the rest of vibes going on, these men say, yeah, you supposed to submit to me and all that stuff. First, submit to each other, then the woman submit to you, and you supposed to love, and love is not Christian root of real truth. Come on, y'all understand that, okay? So when you say you love your wife, you don't put no hands on just like you do your kids. You ain't put your kids on, you know what I'm saying? So therefore, love is not abuse, and I mean, therefore, y'all want defend that, because it's like slaves defend their master, being whooped by a master. Y'all want to defend that shit. So just mean that old Uncle Ruckus was psychotic Uncle Ruckus brute was to do that to my child. Trust me, I be in school. I ready to fight your ass. I should get a whip. I use some of the worst. Okay, so I'm gonna go there. Okay, I'm just not making no threat. I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, I'll go to jail behind my child. Okay, now. The reason why now the kids now the difference between, I know y'all don't say about me about the white girl and Hispanic girls cut the Hispanic guy that cussed the teacher a nigga, and the white girl. They don't know the issue because those kids try to fight them. These kids did not come after this man. They threatened the man. They try to fight the man. He just came out with his brother, started whipping. You know what I'm saying? I understand they messed the classroom up, but I'm sure this situation been going on for a long doggone time, and the school have not done shit. Have not put them, because first of all, if the school, if the kids ain't gonna do right, they have a right to keep the students out, and they should, okay? Because later on in life, when them kids get grown, when they have no education, because y'all trying to tell, first I'm not these people who try to pull somebody on the string. These teachers, I mean, young people, yes, they're 13, you're trying to save their lives. But you're also going to have a whole bunch of hard heads. I'm a hard head myself. I don't do nothing wrong, go and drive and other stuff, no. But I'm letting you know. And usually when a breaking point comes in, that's when a person changes. And everybody has that breaking point. You can be the so-called goody two-shoe of the world, knowing your ass ain't all that good, because only God knows, only God is, okay? Only because you know, behind all that good, God forgive me. But you know, behind only God is, okay? So, point is, okay, you know that when something goes, you make a mistake and you keep on doing and don't change, and some breaking points comes in, you lose something, you regret it, you start to change your life. Everybody goes through that, okay? So therefore when those little boys and the girls too that's in the classroom, when they don't want to go to school, when they skip school and they act up in school, when they get grown and they'll end up having, of course, they might have children and stuff like this, they're gonna open their eyes and say, man, I wish I make this mistake, please. And so that's to be a wake up call, because I'm serious. We can't, because remember, you can try to change a child, but that child, when it becomes 18 years old, when it becomes a grown person, they still gonna be the same doggone person sometimes, and they're not gonna give a damn what you say. They're gonna still by what they do. Trust me. I've seen people do that. Okay, until they get something, they do something to the point it breaks them, and they realize, well, I should have never done that. And they be examples when they make the change. They be examples to other people, because now you know, if I had a school, I wouldn't allow the kids to be in my school. I don't give a damn. I don't say trying to save kids' life and trying to teach them, but these kids don't want to do shit, and their parents don't care about them. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to whoop them to care about them. They have to teach them from one source. Or you don't let a child do everything you want to when they're 13, when they're 3 years old. You teach them right and wrong right then. You be patient with them, not be all rude and cuss them out. I mean, say I see people cuss their kids out. I would never cuss my kids out. Trust me, those are fighting words. You say you love your kids. Love is not clear to the root and rule of injury. Please understand that. That's a wisdom for St. Paul in Corinthians 1 Corinthians 13. So I'm not the first one. I know this, okay? And when I see this situation here, these kids, where their parents, my assumption is, and I could be, I'm making an ASS out of myself. I say this. These some ghetto ass parents, these folks. I bet you they the one smoke weed. I bet they one over here cussing in front of their kids. I bet they talking about they use the F word around their children. I bet they let their children listen to the hip hop or cussing in it. Cause one time I talked to somebody, so your kids come here cussing, you cussing the kids out, or they cussing around. I said one day I do cuss, but I try not to do it around kids. And they said, oh, they'll hear one day. Okay, well, still, they're here when they get older, not when they little kids. You know, you don't want to scandalize little ones. Come on now. So, point is, when I say these, because besides people try to enforce, the reason why they do this, I'm going to go ahead and say this. The reason why they do this, the discipline, the physical violence, so-called discipline, try to say, they don't want the repercussion of their actions going to their kids. Okay? If they do all this stuff that's bad from their children, and their children are smart to observe that and try to practice what they're doing, they try to break them by being abused with them, but they don't understand. Their psychological damage to that person, and the study has shown that whoopings has done that and spankings has done that. I'm a prime example of that. There's times I do feel like, defense, they want to do something to my family. If they ever try to, because they know that I will call the police on them, but they still try to sneak some way, try to be violent towards me. There are times I want to do something to them. I'll go ahead and admit it, okay? So, I don't want to do it, but it's for the sake of we call it defense and protection. I'm not going to go through life and that's about it. I'm not going to life and be violent towards me. Trust me, I don't care what you are to me. I didn't ask to come in this world. I mean, no one asked to lay down and make babies out of wedlock, okay? So, point is, and I would never, if I want to bring somebody to this doggone world, I would never be selfish and put them in a harmful predicament. They cannot make a decision on their own. They're grown. So that's the whole reason why that I have that violent, and I live with myself. I have that violent streak. And trust me, the things what they said to me in the past, the things they did to me in the past when I was a child, makes you want to do something to them. The reason I'm reading this is because y'all sitting here making all those stupid lies about whooping me. You did, you've been brainwashed to think that, but I'm being for real. No, it didn't. Okay? There's time I never killed nobody, but that comes in my head. Okay? So I don't want my kids to have the same mentality that I have. And I don't want them on medication. I don't want none of this stuff. Okay? So y'all talking about practicing good stuff. We are actually practicing evil stuff in the store. Actually, the Bible says that. It is store description. In the ignorant and unstable, the store description on destruction. Therefore, be on your guard. This is the structure y'all causing in the neighborhood, and particularly those in. I mean, I know it came from a mix of white and with the English, besides French is the English part of my family. The English pilgrims brought this trash here, being pilgrims. I'm gonna be enterprising, but just so you know. And then I also turn this trash to the slaves. And y'all black people and some of the black people try to be such conservative, but voting the Democrats, should I say, silly. Anyway, point is, y'all try to defend the whooping and spanking and talking about it help you. It didn't help you at all. It made you violent because when you have kids, you act like a doggone monster and a brute towards some kids. And that's not love. Okay? You know, so, and I'm not saying white people don't practice core punishment. They do. They're the one brought it over here. When the Pilgrims came here back in the doggone colonial days, okay, from England. And the core punishment actually started to be very popular in England, and they brought it over here to the United States. So therefore, y'all sit here and don't know your history. Don't get there mixed with black and English and French and the American. I know most of my roots in my history compared to some people. So, point is, that's why that I'm very I'm against this, and trust me, like I say, I'd be damned to have my kids be raised like that. And if anybody will buy doggone kids, I'm sorry. The same situation I want to do to my family, to me, I'll do it towards my. Because when it comes to my babies, I will go to jail behind my child. Okay, I'm sorry, I will go to jail behind my child. It's protecting my doggone child. I don't want my child going through that situation. Okay, I'm not gonna spoil them. First thing I would take the first thing because they're talking about timeouts don't work. In reality, when you do something wrong in the law, what you get time out in jail. When you do something at your job wrong, you get fired, right? You get taking things away from you. Okay, so when you go to jail, you go do anything wrong, and in society you don't get smacked by the face. You get stuff taken away from you, right? Well, the same thing you gotta do to your child. When you have kids, they do something wrong, you take away their things, the stuff they love so much. They have to learn because in life, when this is why I haven't committed the crime so much too. I don't want my freedom taken away from me. Well, it's the same way I would do to my kids. Okay, so when when I have children, yeah, talking about time out because when you do go some in reality, when you do, I mean, the cops they do smack us out of heads against the law on their behalf. But when when you do some crime, what you get time out. When you do something against a job, if you don't get fired, you get suspended without pay, right? Or suspended with pay sometimes. All these things, these privileges get taken away from you because you did something wrong. Once and then it goes to your child, okay? Because in reality, they don't get whoops out of here. Yeah, you got police brutality out there. Yes, that's against the law, okay? That's not legal. But in reality, when you out there smoking dope and getting drugs, you get put in jail, right? You're a freedom, you get time out, a long time out, right? Okay, well, that's something you have to do to your kids, okay? And that's why I was showing them one thing. I'm not hide the consequences outside of my house. I let them know when they go to jail, this is what happens. I'll take them to a scare straight program. I'll do all I can to scare they scared it. I mean, it's a bad word. I'm about to say the A word. Scare it behind. Let them know they're not do this. So they have either they gonna go out, they gonna live there out on the street, or they gonna live by my rules. Okay, so. Therefore, when they turn 18, I'm not one of them doggone ladies, one of them parents trying to tell them what to do after they turn 18. They gonna end up saving their money. They can get it only because I want them to have freedom and have a true adulthood. So they will not be living in my house and be scared that I'm gonna tell them what to do because I'm not gonna raise some grown folks. I'm sorry. I ain't raised no grown folks. I raised children. That's different. But grown folks, they do what they want to do. They make mistakes. I can't even take this side about it. No, hey, don't come knocking at my door. I'm gonna let you know. Do something wrong, I'm not gonna bail you behind out. I will tell them that. Okay, see, out there, first, I want a baby and be strict at the same time. It's either two. You know what I'm saying? So I'm letting them know, and I let them know that I'm a best father than them because I let them have a lot of things that I wish I had. Okay, but what I'm saying, at 18, they want to do this and that, they make the worst mistake. I'm telling them, don't come knocking on my door. Okay, that's how it is. Everybody love is called tough love. That's tough love right there. So you do something wrong, don't come knocking on my door for no lawyer. You better, you go work to get your own lawyer. Okay? That's how you do it. Okay? So that's how, even though I'm not a parent, I research parents who do this type of stuff, and the kids come out fine. And one thing that I let them know that they don't go to school, they will be out in the street. They will be out, you know what I'm saying? They will have the baby and welfare, all the stuff. They want to have this other stuff, okay? And then too, I would encourage them to go to school because I'm 35 years old. I'm going to school on this computer, and I wish I was in school. And the reason why I did not go to school after high school is due to the fact I wanted my own money to go to school. I wanted my own. It was hard to get that scholarship and how to write an essay and all that other stuff. Is because I didn't want my family paying for shit. I didn't want them trying to tell me to do because since I'm parents, I'm not being owned by a slave at 18, 19 years old. So I went to school and I went to Job Corps. I got away from my family. It was a blessing. Like it didn't happen. I went to school. Okay. And right now, since I'm on my own, well, I know I did work last week, temporary assignment, 2 temporary assignments last week, but I'm not working at the same job. I go to school online and I'm trying to do the best I can. And sometimes I do slack off. I mean, as long as I get my stuff turning in, I do slack off because I like to have fun. But sometimes I have to let myself know I can't have fun all the time. So that's what I would like to teach my kids. I went to school, and one thing you gotta take away from the environment where it's that thugging and all that buffoonery and that ghetto shit. You gotta take them to a high class area. That's why some of them white folks, I'm sorry to say it like this, excel because they see examples of the white men and women who went to school who live prestige lives. And they have black people in the African American and Hispanic community who have prestige lives too, who don't live in ghetto and barrio and all other stuff. Okay? That's when you around kids who go to school, who do their schoolwork, who do all that other stuff, who are obedient and everything. That's like when you spinning around about these spoiled apples, they gonna run around being spoiled. Okay, that's how you do it. I'm letting you know. I would never have my kids around them ghetto five kids. I'm gonna make fun of them, but I would not have them around because I want my kids be around. For example, I live in a project right now. I would not have my kids around them. No, I would not let my kids around. Okay, you can call me a racist. I won't care. Even if they were white kids acting a fool, I would not let them around them on bad influence. You can't have your kids around bad influence. You gotta have them with good influence. So that's why them kids acting up because they don't have no good influence around them, especially if their parents is not being a good influence right there. Besides being abusive, if they tell them they ain't shit, they ain't gonna do shit. Of course, they don't believe them words, and they gonna be exactly how their parents told them they gonna be. Okay, I think I know that this stuff goes on. And usually, if the parents ain't shit, Charles is telling the kids ain't shit. If the parents ain't shit, wait till the child gonna come up. You know, there gotta be a different scenario. You can't have the kids around all that thugging shit and all that other stuff. That's why them kids acting the way they act. And whether they have parents, adults acting the same doggone way, of course their kids ain't gonna come out better. Hello. So that's the whole reason why they around prestigious people, upscale, high class people who actually was motivated to succeed. Your kids will be around that. And trust me, I would not trade it. I would prefer to be around high class folks. Not no low class folks. I'm sorry to say it. I ain't talking about money, I'm talking about as a child. High class prestigious people. People who went to school. I worked at a graduation this past weekend and I almost wanted to cry. And I'm 35 years old, and kids younger than me. They're adults now, I'm trying to say. And some told me instead of me playing around and they wait till last minute, let me go ahead and do my schoolwork. You know what I'm saying? And I thank God, even I'm cousin. I thank God that I am in school, go to school online, because in the next 3 years I'll be getting my bachelor's, which is good. So I don't have to work, live in no ghetto and ride dog on bus and everything, and not be on welfare. Some of y'all white race people I know come on my local page talking about I'm on welfare. The system made me on welfare because I have school, I have education. I don't have no what's called no record, no criminal record. I have a high school diploma. I also have some college. I'm back in college on the computer as well. I have a certificate from Job Corps, and y'all asses will not hire me. Even the black and Hispanic supervisors wouldn't hire me. Okay, when my hair was short or when my hair was long with braids, y'all still wouldn't hire my ass. I had to work temporary a lot. So therefore, y'all stupid. If you don't want nobody to take your stupid taxpayer money, now to change the subject in this video, then don't stop discriminating or refusing to hire people who will do the job. I tell it like it is. You know, then yeah, you want to get me on a low base job. I don't want to work. To be honest with you, I don't want to work no low wage job. Yes, an immigrant, a Hispanic or African, whatever, can take that doggone job. I'm American. My American ass will mix with black and American descent, American and Caucasian descent. I say, um, we need to be in a high paying job. If I struck my ass at job code to get somewhere better, I deserve to have a low wage job. So a better wage job, excuse me. So instead of having a low paying job, I'm sorry, that when I was in high school, shit, I'm not in high school. So I tell you like it is. She was like, I can tell you when I was getting unemployment for a while, and I had all the paperwork of all the jobs I applied to go to get unemployment. Okay, it was a lot of jobs and they wouldn't hire me. So therefore, don't sit here and talk about that I'm on welfare and all that stuff. Like our attention, I never thought of myself being on welfare and on public housing. Never thought that. I thought I'd be living good when I graduate college job, when I go to job corps. Anyway, that's why I'm back in school. I go to school for entrepreneurship. So I'm my own boss and have a bachelor's degree. And if I don't have my own company, I plan on working commercial for a little while and then get my company. So at least have a higher paid job and not be living in no ghetto. So y'all actually, yeah, the white race society, I have to say it's good because I have time for every job application I put. It was like, dang, you wouldn't hire me. My record is clean. My record is clean. I got no criminal record. You know the stuff I say I want to do, I refuse to do because I want my record being messed up. Even though I just pray for those people to get out of my life. That's all I do. But anyway, that's all I have to say. But this old Psychotic Uncle Ruckus, he need his behind fire, he need his ass fired. If he was a whoop my dog, I'm sorry. Them parents to come and whoop his ass. I'm sorry. You don't want nobody's kids. I'm sorry, I don't believe in that. Okay? And like I said, I understand. But those who believe that whooping uh made you a bad, it didn't make me a bad person. I mean, the reason why, like I said, the only consequence, the reason why I refuse to do the things I want to do sometimes to somebody that did me wrong is because I don't want to get in trouble with the law and handle little no whoopings. Whoopings made me have those thoughts in my head because every time like, I was going to want to kill a person. So, didn't tell you the truth because y'all lying. Y'all lying. Shucks. Anyway, so that's all I gotta say. I'm, y'all, and I don't like this teacher. I said the teacher me to fire. There is the only thing I would say that this teacher would just by putting hands on a student if a student came in and tried to fight him. But for a student did not come and try to fight him, the student, jeez, dang it. The student, I'm trying to pick these last again. Target. Mm, mm, okay, it's the actual food. Okay, all right. Well, I might go to school tomorrow and get these classes readjusted again. Point is, the reason why that the reason why that these kids act a fool because of their parents. I'm tired, man. I look at the parents how they act and how they talk to their kids and how they do this stuff, what type of activities around them, something for weed from their children. Okay, their kids will come out the same, work 10 times worse. Okay, I tell it like it is. I'm not one of those who gonna say something different because it's a black person doing it or a Spanish person doing it. No, I'm gonna tell it like it is. You know what I'm saying? They can't blame white for everything. Anyway, bye bye. Have a nice day. Oh,